Sound okay? Yeah, good. So, hey, good morning. Thanks for everybody coming out, and I know everybody's busy to hear about Melio. I appreciate everybody's time. So a little bit about myself. Sorry about that. My name is Robert Miller, and I'm the founder of Melio Design. My background is actually industrial engineering. I've spent the past 15 years or so in the industrial engineering market, working from machining to heavy fabrication to industrial sewing applications. So, and most of my career I've spent in is building efficiencies in manufacturing. So looking at the way that people are actually producing something and going through and then actually figuring out if there's a more efficient way or a better way to actually manufacture that. So my company's mission right now is to keep the world connected to inspire positive change is what we're using. And what I mean by that, as you see kind of how as we go on our journey, you'll kind of understand what that meaning really is and how we kind of reflect that mission in what we're trying to do with our products. And then, one of my core beliefs, and it's always been this way, is that, small changes that we all make today can lead to bigger changes tomorrow. So just, those small iterative things that you don't really necessarily think of today, in the long run can make a big impact in the future. And you'll see how we're incorporating, kind of my own personal core beliefs into the company too. So what's the problem that we're trying to solve here? So everybody nowadays, you have some type of electronic device, primarily some type of phone or something like that. It's going off for the best time. Sorry.
So to demonstrate.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so there's a need to have portable power around. There's 7.5 billion of us in the world right now. 67% of us use some type of mobile device on a daily basis. In the U.S. alone, 95% of us use a mobile phone on a daily basis. So you think about the need of having energy with you at all times. Well, there's a real need for that. Whether going to school, work, just to travel and whatnot. You need to keep your devices connected. A lot of them use to keep connected to family, friends, work, everything like that. So having these devices on you and charged up, ready to go, is very important. And one thing too with the devices, they all have a finite amount of energy. So even if you have some type of additional power bank or something like that that you bring with you, those inevitably have a finite amount of energy. And only 28% of people actually carry additional power banks with them, which I was actually surprised. I thought that number would be quite a bit higher than that. But yeah, so again, just the need of having that extra power with you when you need it is important. So there's also this, I guess it's a relatively new issue that's come up too, but it's around people get really anxious whenever they find out that the devices are low on power. So, a lot of people, I personally run into this myself, as if I'm out traveling or something like that. I used to travel a lot with my previous job, that, I'd be nervous about where I'm at with my power. How am I doing? Where am I at? And so there's a lot of people that actually have that anxiety with it. There was a poll that I found across 6 major U.S. cities, and they were mostly East Coast cities. But either way, it was 6 major cities, and they said that 69% of people that they polled, this is over 1,200 people that they polled, have that same type of level of anxiety. So they call it low battery anxiety. So I was like, well, that's kind of a problem. Yeah, it's interesting, but there is such a thing. So, as I mentioned, I've run into this myself personally, when I was traveling for work, and then even when I'm out and about with the kids. I've got 2 active boys, an 8-year-old and 10-year-old, and love being outside. So we're always going camping, hiking, just something outdoors. And we'd run into situations where we would, again, run low on power. If we're using our phones throughout the day, or our cameras, or our GoPros, whatever it is that we're using throughout the day, we'd always run into circumstances where we'd need some type of additional power. So, I went to a few stores, I went online, and I looked for some products. I bought some products, I looked at different things, but I never really found anything that really seemed to fit the need that I was really looking for. I never really found that, quote, kind of perfect product per se. So I decided, I've got a background in engineering. It's like, why don't I just try and come up with something myself, try and design something that I think would actually fit my personal needs that I can end up using, across and see if it fits everybody else's needs, which I believe it does. So, my goal was to design something that reduces your need to basically recharge statically. So what I mean by that is the fact that you don't have to sit next to a wall outlet, or you have to just sit and wait for your phone to charge. You can go out and do what you want to do, while at the same time be able to charge your devices. And I also give myself a personal stretch goal, and I only recognize this mainly because when I was out with kids, just how much kind of plastic waste that there is that people just leave behind. A stretch goal of trying to reduce the overall plastic waste that's used in the overall environment. So trying to come up with those two different stretch goals, and I've actually been able to do both of those. So this here is a picture of the product that I'm designing here. It's a awesome, highly durable, extremely functional solar-powered, solar charging backpack. I strongly believe that if you make an easy and beneficial way of using solar power, a lot more people will use it. A lot of people nowadays, when you think of solar, you don't necessarily think it on your person. So there are devices and things like out there that are similar to this that you can use on your person, but not quite as cool as what I've designed here. So about a month ago, I actually filed for my provisional patent for this product here. So what I filed a provisional patent for is actually there's a modular feature to it. So you can actually add additional solar panels to the pack itself, so you can actually increase the power output of the unit. So if you're trying to charge, basically, I got some numbers here I'll go through later, I don't want to get into that at the moment, but basically you can add additional panels to it to increase the power output. So if you want to charge, basically if you want to charge larger devices or multiple devices, you have that increased power capacity to do that. So I've got, where's that delay? So to hit the stretch goal that I was talking about and trying to reduce the overall plastic in the waste stream is actually I'm going to use 100% recycled plastic bottle material. It's actually called Reprieve is the brand name. These are some samples of the material here if anybody wants to see it after the presentation. So this part here, this one swatch will be used for the interior portion of the bag, and then this part here will be used for the exterior part of the bag. So you can feel it in the texture and everything like that. It feels just like it would any other type of recycled polyester fabric, or not, I should say any other polyester fabric, or this fabric, the uniqueness of it is that it's actually recycled. And it's recycled 100% from plastic bottles. So I was able to hit that stretch goal that I had for myself, while at the same time having material that's robust enough to be able to keep up with the circumstances that I want to design the product. Also, the fabric, since it's plastic too, it's actually water resistant. So the bag I'm designing is actually going to be 100% water resistant. It won't be dunk proof, but it'll be water resistant. So you'll be able to take it pretty much anywhere you want to go, and you won't have to necessarily worry about any type of water ingress. And then I'm using monocrystalline solar cells. These are the most efficient solar cells that are actually out in the market right now. There's some other different technologies, but this is the one that I used. And the cool thing about it is that it's fairly flexible. So you can see you can move it and stuff, and you think of a lot of solar panels as being, kind of rigid and brittle and all that stuff, where this doesn't necessarily lend to that, so it's fairly flexible and stuff. I haven't posted anything yet, but I'm going to be working on some films and stuff just showing around the impact resistance of this, so you can actually kind of see how that actually holds up in the real world. So again, if anybody wants to see it afterwards, more than welcome to. And then, last but not least, I want to actually design or actually manufacture this here domestically. So again, that goes along with my company's mission of trying to limit what we're doing from an output standpoint, and being able to do that here domestically helps us do that. But it also has additional benefits to that. I'm able to get quicker turnarounds for samples, design improvements, even to the overall manufacturing of the product itself, and be able to reduce that time frame by having it done here. The company I'm actually working with is here in Fenton. If you're familiar with the area, it's maybe about 20-25 minutes from here, so it's super close. So it's really cool that I found somebody here that can do this, that can handle that type of industrial sewing, and can do it, at least at this point where we've talked about high level, fairly competitive to what you would get if you actually manufactured something like this overseas. Also, it reduces the overall logistical cost and complexity of having to do something overseas. You don't have to necessarily be traveling overseas or waiting for things to show up or anything like that, because all my supply chain is here domestically. The material that I'm actually going to be using, that material comes from South Carolina. So again, the material itself is domestic. So again, trying to minimize that overall supply chain pain and burden by being able to do it here domestically. So these are some of this is the design of the pack. And this is just the first one in a series of different products that I actually want to bring out. So this is the bag itself. This is the solar panel there. And then you can undo that zipper there to access the bag if you needed to. If you had it buttoned up, you can access the bag from the top here. So you'll see this is their separate compartment for your computer, which would slide into here. And if you didn't want to have your computer in there, you can actually slide in a hydration system. And you can use a hydration system too. So again, it's got multi-use. You can use it on the weekends, you know, for going out and doing whatever type of adventures you want, or you can do it during the week for your business. And I believe the design too has a you know, it's a unique design to it. So it has a professional look to it. So, you know, somebody like myself, working professional, will be able to take this into the office, take this traveling with me, or whatever I would need to do. And it looks good, but then on the weekends, it's robust enough and designed well enough to where I can take it out on whatever adventures that I want to do. Now, one other thing too, with the bag itself, so I've been able to basically minimize the amount of anxiety you have for, you know, not being able to charge your device, but at the same time, the user also can feel good about using the product that's made from recycled goods. So it's a win-win for the user. And being able to solve the problem, but at the same time, they can feel good about themselves by using this product because there actually is a positive environmental impact from it. So this here are some tests that I've run. So the 7-watt system is basically just this one panel here, and this one panel would be the one that's going to be sewn into the bag itself. So this is just based upon using one of the panels, not actually having used additional panels for that modular feature. So again, if you're charging your phone at home, you know, typically you're going to use, you know, one of these little, you know, 5 volts, you know, 1 amp, maybe 2 amp if you're lucky with some of them, charging plug, and that's going to get you pretty much equivalent charge time as it would be to charge, you know, one of my iPhones or something like that. So it's not too far out of the out of what it would take to do it, you know, right off the wall. Wearable device, if you've got any type of, you know, people who use the tracker to different devices or Apple Watches, things like that. Roughly, it takes you with this about a half hour to be able to charge that device up. And this is going from 0 to 100%. So a lot of people don't necessarily let their devices run all the way down. They're going to, you know, start charging them at, you know, about that 20-25% mark to 100. So those times would obviously be reduced. And then again, GoPro, you know, roughly a couple hours to do that. And I picked these devices because these are devices that I personally use or my family uses. So that's kind of how I came up with the usage of these. So just real quick hit on some highs and lows of Melio versus some of the stuff that I've actually seen out in the marketplace. So again, hit on the uniqueness of the design. I believe that our design is quite unique from the other products that are out there. A lot of the other products that you can see out there that are similar to this, they're easy to just blend in. They're easy to kind of overlook and really not even notice what it is that they actually can do. Where I think mine stands out, not just from a functionality standpoint, but also from an aesthetic standpoint. Again, the modular feature that's associated with this bag is unique. There's no other product that I've been able to find out there that has this modular feature to it. My bag also will have an integrated power bank in it that's actually detachable, so you can take that power bank with you and charge it at home, put it in the bag, and then you're ready to go. And then you can just, you know, solely charge that or charge other devices, you know, when you're on the go. Most of the other competitors' products, usually it's just a single panel. They don't typically come with any kind of power bank or anything like that, or any type of system to actually store that energy that they're actually producing. And then again, you know, the focus on using, you know, quality recycled materials. Again, the Reprieve fabric is pretty unique to these products. Most of the other competitors out there, their product usually is just kind of cheap, inexpensive, you know, fabric. Most of them are all, you know, usually made overseas. So again, it kind of goes hand in hand with where that supply chain is. So they get the materials from there. And the materials really aren't very robust. Again, I've known that from personal experience by purchasing some of the products. Again, hit on the, you know, high quality construction. The company that I'm working with has a storied reputation of building high quality goods. So I feel very confident that they'll be able to produce something for me that's going to be very, very robust. While at the same time, you know, I don't have to really worry about, you know, who then I'm partnering with. I feel very confident in them. And then again, hitting on some of the things overseas with, you know, just the kind of mediocre construction and the fact that, you know, most of that stuff again is made overseas. It's just, it's amazing, you know, some things you get from over there can be really good, and then some things can be pretty poor. And unfortunately, the things that I've identified that I've used to try and solve this problem for myself have been, unfortunately, kind of a poor construction. So just a quick timeline of where I've been this year and kind of where I'm going. So right now I'm focusing, you know, all of my time right here in kind of the green boxes, which is going through and building, you know, the test units, finishing the design, going through my beta test and all of that. The big thing that I want to hit on are right here this year. So I went to exhibit at OR, which is Outdoor Retailer. I was out there last year, and it was just an awesome show. And what it is all of the companies that do anything in the outdoor space, be it a, you know, in this essence, a backpack or a canoe, a kayak, tents, anything you can think of, the food, anything that would be in the outdoor space, shoes, is at the show. So they're all displaying at the show, and then what it does, it's only open to insiders too. It's not open to the public. And then the different retailers, so you're talking about your REIs, or locally here, you know, Alpine Shop would go there, or Camp is another small outdoor retailer here in St. Louis, actually attend these shows. Their buyers do, and then there are distributors that attend these shows, along with a lot of media. You get a ton of media exposure going to this. So while you're there, you can get to meet a lot of awesome contacts and all that stuff. Last year I met a lot of really great people, and I did a lot of really good market intelligence too on just what I'm trying to do, see if there's any similar products out there or anything like that, and it was really, really cool. So I plan to do that again this year, and except representing my company. Last year I was representing somebody else in fun in itself. And then the big thing I want to do too then is actually launch a crowdfunding campaign. So either do this through Kickstarter or Indiegogo, something like that. Actually, once I get back from OR, kind of building on that brand awareness, be able to do a Kickstarter campaign would be the next kind of big push that I want to do. And then hopefully later this year, based upon those relationships that I made at OR, I can then end up working with some of the retailers and or distributors to get the product out after the Kickstarter campaign, or crowdfunding campaign. So that's all I got. I appreciate everybody's time and questions.
Hold on, wait for the microphone, but if he has first question, we'll work our way down.
Real quick, great product, and tell me the benefits of the power bank. Why? I know that that's something different you have, but what are some other benefits to that? How does it work?
So the power, you know what, I actually had, bear with me, I'm going to go off camera here. I actually have a sample one. All right, now I'm back. So this is actually the power bank that I want to use. This is a roughly a 6,700 milliamp hour power bank. So this is enough to charge your phone multiple times. And it would take this product with the modular feature roughly about 3.5 hours to fill this all the way up. Again, the cool thing with this is that you can, again, it's portable. You can take it out, you can charge it at home, through a wall outlet, and then you're ready to go through the day. Or you can, just carry this along with you and then power up whatever device it is that you want. So eventually I'm going to, I want to get one that has additional ports. This one right now is really just set up for one port, for one device, but in the future I'll have one that will have multiple ports in it. So the benefit of it is just the fact that it's portable, it's not tied to the bag itself. There are some other products out there where these are actually physically attached to the bag itself, so you can't do anything with it, where this one's actually removed.
Okay, so you kind of answered my question that your devices have to be plugged into this.
Correct.
Have you investigated the possibility of the kinds of charging where a device just is in proximity to something?
Eventually I'd like to get to that point, yeah, to where it's like if you have the bag on, you could just put your phone in like the shoulder strap and then charge it. You don't have to physically attach it to anything. Eventually I'd like to get to that point, yeah.
Right. This is a great product. I'm really excited about it. And the modular part, do the flaps like fold out?
So right now, it's basically.
Or is that the secret sauce you don't want to tell?
Oh, no. If there's really, just by talking about it, it's not going to really say a whole lot. But second. So actually, in this spot here on the bag itself is where you would actually make those connection points. So you'd actually open this up here, and then you would actually slip out an additional panel or two, whatever it is that you would need, and then you would actually physically hook it up to the bag itself. So the negative to it right now is I haven't determined how I want to actually hold that, so you're mobile while you're using the tethered feature of it. But the benefit of it is that, you know, if you are somewhere just at a park or something like that, you can unfold it, and if you're hanging out for an hour or so, you can almost charge most of your devices up real quick.
I have visions of little kids with these things unfolded looking like butterfly wings while they're going around
Yeah.
finding Pokemon.
I think Mary hit on an excellent point that I was going to get to. It's none of us wear backpacks, and so when you use your marketing terms, you use the terms everybody and we, and so maybe you actually have more insight than that. But everybody and we obviously doesn't fit most of us, and I'm thinking most people who wear backpacks are children, teenagers. And I think of an interesting marketing segment of the working homeless, the person who is on the bus all day, and they have to stop somewhere and they got to plug their phone in the wall at work. And it's surprisingly how they pop up. Only a few weeks ago, I found out one of my coworkers, a salaried employee, is working homeless, and it pops up all the time. And so that's what my question is. Do you have better breakdowns than we and everybody? Because I think that's where you fall short.
Not necessarily, and I may be using those a little bit probably more open-ended than I probably should. I know that the trends are going to where more and more, at least professionals, are using backpacks more on a daily basis, where, you know, the traditional kind of briefcase or kind of messenger bag type stuff are kind of going away a little bit. But that's something that I can, you know, definitely look into more and make sure that I'm tailoring that message to correctly, so I'm not necessarily making a kind of broad, encompassing statement. So
it would be a huge influence on your design.
Sure. Yep.
I'm going to disagree with you because I'm a professional and I do a backpack and I see backpacks. I agree with you. The traditional briefcase and the messenger bags are definitely going out the window. Yeah, everybody's doing backpacks right now. And then you mentioned the OR show, and I keep thinking consumer electronics show. That's what I keep thinking. So as a consumer product, I can see that being huge.
Yeah, that would be another potential point, but I know that at least from and based upon my previous experience being in OR, I know that by going there, I can meet those people that can get this out from a retail standpoint quicker. CES may end up, you know, being able to, you know, uncover those same type of connections, which I've not attended that before. But that's actually on my radar to attend this year.
A good product. One of the things really key is to sell the product to hikers. I am a hiker. I love going hiking. I don't like to camp, but there are lots of people who camp and they run out of power. And this would be a great product. So I think it's worth to consider how to reach that group of people. Now, one of the things I find being a woman, although this is looking like a good product, it doesn't appeal to me in terms of the looks and how it is. I'm a backpacker.
Sure.
And my handbag is a backpack, my purse is a backpack, my laptop bag is a backpack. But this product has the look which puts me at a disadvantage to buy it. So you might want to consider how we are going to feel the product to others.
So actually the designer I'm working with is a female, and we've actually had that exact same conversation, just because we want to make sure that we're not, you know, basically kind of discounting one portion of the population that is, you know, would be very, very big and could definitely use a product like this. So that's something we've actually had conversations about, trying to make it appeal more to females versus just, you know, males.
Yeah, I was trying to understand from the engineering perspective. You've got a 7-watt solar panel on the back of this.
Sure.
That's actually a pretty common item. If you want to, you can look online. They have plenty that you can just essentially attach to the back of your normal backpack that you can use for charging stuff.
Right.
If you're interested. But I think a lot of backpackers, if you're going to spend a lot of time in the sun, you probably need to spend probably a good 5 hours out there to charge a device. Just because of the angle that it's hanging and everything else. And the fact that you're probably not walking with your back in the sun the whole time, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, there's this one demographic that, you know, you could appeal to. The other demographic of the urban worker, I'm trying to understand how a solar panel, in a practical sense, would help them to address any of their issues. I mean, we're talking about having to be, you know, relatively stationary for several hours at a time in the sun. And I don't think that that works with a lot of people's lifestyle.
Okay.
But, you know, maybe you have a different take on this, or like a different demographic that you're trying to target where that would be the case.
So, I mean, I guess the demographic that I'm trying to go for really with this are, you know, I'd say the more professional market. So professionals is, you know, somebody similar to myself that does a lot of, you know, outdoors activities, but during the week would be able to benefit from something like this. You know, the benefit of having something similar to this is, sure, you know, as a, you know, if you're wearing this out and about downtown, it may not necessarily, you know, you're not going to necessarily be able to charge your device 100%, or you're not going to be able to get the full benefit of it, but you're going to be able to get some additional charge out of it versus, you know, just, you know, not having anything. So if there is that need where you just need, you know, that quick charge on the go, you're going to be able to utilize something like this to be able to do that. And then, you know, there's you know, regardless if you're just, you know, I like doing a lot of walking and stuff versus driving, or even bicycling for that matter. So, you know, being able to have something like this while I'm out actually doing something outdoors, you can get some capacity, some charge capacity. Now, it's not perfect if you're not at the right angle, or if it's not full sun, that you can actually utilize and have some of this, you know, this energy being able to be utilized either charging your device or charging the power bank itself. So
yeah, but since you have this kind of lifestyle, have you tried attaching one of those to just an existing bag just to see if it's even, you you know, a pragmatic solution
yeah,
for you.
I've used it. Yeah, I have.
And so what's your
it's been beneficial for, you know, it hasn't been, I wouldn't say that it's perfect. So there's still definitely some tweaks that I want to do from a design standpoint with it, but it's definitely been more beneficial than not having it. There's been times when I've been out where I wish I had it, than other times when I really don't want to use it. So to me personally, there's been times when I've actually wanted to actually benefit from something like this more than whenever I don't have the product itself. And some of it is just, it may just be peace of mind, it may be that psychological, maybe that anxiety in me that, you know what, the fact that I have this, it relieves that anxiety. And to me, that solves the problem.
I like his questions about the urban worker experience. So are you familiar with, like, and don't know the exact answer, how much time you will sit at a metro station before your bus or train arrives? Because that's going to be a time in which an urban worker might be able to just stand idly in the sun. Mm-hmm. I know when I took the metro, you can sometimes have a two hour just ride from one side of the city to the other, waiting, riding. So do you have any ideas, or have you tried out just riding the metro and how much time it takes?
No,
that you have to sit at a certain spot.
No, that's a great idea. That would be really good real world data to gather. So that's something I could definitely do.
I go out in the woods a lot, and when I go out, I'm going out to get away from my phone. But I guess I'm sitting here trying to think kind of like sell this to. I was thinking about it last night, but like one idea where I think it would be more popular would be like a college campus, where you have younger people who have that anxiety you're talking about. Older, you know, their generation, so I don't really get the anxiety. I'll just But I guess my question is, so I'm going up to Alaska this summer for a couple months, and what we're trying to figure out is some sort of solar power to charge things other than a phone. Because we're not going to be attached or connected to society through phones or computers or anything. Is there, with this, so like if I wanted to go hike for the day and then come back, can I use whatever the battery is to charge other stuff or to run other stuff, or is it just like the USB?
Ideally, this first design is just USB, but ideally, yes, I would want to be able to charge larger devices. So if you were out, you know, I guess ideally,
would you use like a wall outlet? Did you like set it up where you could like plug a wall outlet kind of thing in, or?
wouldn't necessarily be that. It'd be more of like a like to charge your computer or something like that. So you need like 12 maybe 18 volt type of plug. So you would have that basically kind of that female addition to it, to the power supply itself, and then you would just obviously tether from that then into whatever device it is that you're charging. So have something similar to that, to where you'll be able to get that additional output. Now there may be there's probably going to be a need for different plugs or adapters or things like that, but that would be ideally be able to have a larger battery. So during the day, you're charging that, so when the sun's down at night, then you can take that power light and you can charge if it's your computer or some larger device that it is that you want to charge. Ideally, that would be the direction that I want to go in with this.
What's the price of the bag, or the goal price?
Right now, the price of the bag is between $3 and $3.25 is where I'm kind of looking at this. I have, and that's based upon similar products, and not necessarily solar products, but similar bags and stuff that are out there in the market. So similar bags that have a lot of additional functionality and stuff, they usually hit around that price point. I actually went to, it was about, I guess maybe a month ago, downtown had a bike and outdoor expo here, down at Union Station, and I went down there just to kind of, again, build some brand awareness, but then also just ask questions to different people out there, because this is kind of some of those different target markets that I'm looking at, and nobody seemed to really push back too much on that price point. They all equated it to buying, say like an Osprey type of bag, or some type of higher end kind of premium type of bag is what they equated to, but having the additional benefit of being able to charge your devices.
I've got a backpack for hiking, and it's got like 50 more straps on it than your bag.
Yeah.
Like, you can strap.
Yeah.
I mean, you can take it, long go walk in the woods for a week.
And
I guess my only thought,
That strikes me as, the more I listen, the more I'm thinking like that's a design for like a college student that has some money to blow, that wants to kind of have like a trendy but eco-friendly bag.
well, I guess my question is, if that's what the design is for, then why are you going and trying to sell it to REI? Like, I would think you'd be at like a college trade show, not a outdoors trade show.
Well, a lot of the college students are definitely a target area, but a lot of those same college students, they're the ones that I want to say kind of, I'll say, live that outdoor lifestyle. So they're the ones that shop at an REI or shop at the Alpine shop to buy that shirt that says Patagonia or to buy that Osprey bag. They may not be doing anything outdoors whatsoever, but they want to buy that product, and that's usually where they go to find that stuff. So again, to get that visibility is why I'm going to OR to get into those different types of retail markets.
All right, well, I'm
That
gonna-
drives it, I think, like living lifestyles where you don't actually want to live that, and they just want to live like it.
Like
So,
most
I
of
think
us,
it's a
I
good
think.
thing, too.
No, I think what it is, to some extent, this is a day hike backpack
So, yeah.
as opposed to a
Right. This wouldn't be
backpack.
necessarily like a long trip, right?
Right. All right, well, I'm gonna take the last question, sorry, we're running a little short on time. So, what can the community do for you? What are you looking for by, standing up here?
Just spread the word. That's really what I would really need. I need to try and start building some more awareness of what it is that I'm doing around the brand, and just kind of get some additional interest from people, and then thoughts would be awesome. So I've got some stickers here. If anybody wants to grab one, it's got the web address down at the bottom. There's not a whole lot of content right now, but there is a landing page. So please sign up for information there. I'll be sending out, obviously, as things progress with the timeline. There will be more and more additional information coming out. So again, just tell your friends and family that you've heard about this cool product that I'm putting together, and we'll go from there. So I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry, thank you very much.